Welcome back once again here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Starladder Season 8, Day 11 coming up for you guys live. And it's starting now. We got Empire once again here. Now going to be facing off against Team RX. Relax, you are doing fine. Previously known as Team Poseidon. Of course, they did have that recent raster swap. KSI, Dread, Shotchlow, Nexus, and Tame My Wild. The roster they're running these days. Not sure why Nexus isn't tagged up RX-wise, but still a member of the team nonetheless. And they've been doing pretty well. Their first few games, sort of as one would expect, they underperformed, but it seems they're starting to hit that stride a little bit. As a team, as a cohesive unit. And we'll see how they fare here. Going to have their work cut out for them against Empire, though. Empire coming hot off that first win against OSG. Really a great game. Empire played that very, very well. Executed to a T. Very, very crisp teamwork. Again, I am Zyori, at Zyori TV on Twitter, and I am going to be solo casting this game. Probably one more after this, and then I think Mr. Hippie will be joining me. A nice little treat for you guys. And then Merlini will be back again tomorrow for those of you out there not enjoying the lack of Merlini today. He's a busy man. There's not enough Merlini to go around. Everybody wants a piece of the old Ben Wu action. Reserve time. So he will be back tomorrow, though. Again, thank you for joining us here, and, well, welcome back. We've got Team Empire here. They're going to ban out the Venomancer as well as the Elder Titan. Relax. Well, they're going to ban out the Clockwork as well as the Lichy. A lot of scary heroes still left in the pool. Of course, as always, not enough bans to take them all out, and RX is going to go ahead and first pick the Visage. Never a bad choice. But here, Team Empire right away. Going to grab Alchemist as well as the mighty Bristleback. So you're going to see some Bristleback action here. We've seen a little bit of Bristleback play intermittently. He's been banned out a bit more than he's been picked, in all honesty. And he can be a scary hero indeed. Another kind of mid-game stride hero. Sort of a similar play style to that Night Stalker a bit. Of course, not based around night times, but a similar sort of timing. And I do get criticized for saying sometimes that Bristleback does fall off eventually. And I'm sticking to my guns, folks. I think he does fall off. I contend that less farm, he will fall off eventually. Right around that 30-minute mark is when Bristleback, maybe a little bit later, 35, 40 minutes, closer to that late game is when Bristleback's a massive amount of tankiness really starts to take a nosedive, and he just becomes a normal hero instead of a Gosu hero, where he is in the mid-game. So if they hit that mid-game stride again, Team Empire showing us that they know how to do it. They know the items they need. They know how to deal with that Rat Dota style of split push, and Bristleback, a hero that is going to fit very nicely into that play style. Now again, the first pick, Alchemist, a hero that I think we're going to continue to see on the rise. Not that he ever really fell off. He did get that minor nerf in 6.79, as we mentioned at the beginning of the last match, but nothing crazy. And the thing about him that makes him such a great early pick is that versatility. He can play support just fine. He can play solo mid just fine. He can play the one position okay. Doesn't really off lane all that well, but that's okay. We won't hold it against him. He still does everything else pretty damn well. So a lot of open-endedness for the Team Empire draft here. Still a lot of open-endedness with that Bristleback as well. He's another one of those heroes that you can put him in the one position. You can put him in the solo safe lane. Most commonly in the solo safe lane, I think. But we'll see how he fares here. Now the next band's going to come out. Empire are going to take out OD as well as Lifestealer, two very scary heroes. And RX going to take out the Crystal Maiden support, and will ban out the Storm Spirit there. So a lot of the really powerful supports are taken out of the pool here. Between the Venomancer, Lich, and CM bans, and now the Visage pick, I see what RX are trying to do here. Limit those supports in the pool. But they've already got Alchemist. When push comes to shove, worst case scenario, Empire can just throw that Alchemist into the support role. They're going to grab themselves an Enchantress as well, another great hero for some early aggression to carry some of that momentum into the mid-game. Can't go wrong with an Enchantress pick in most situations. Timbersaw, not a bad pick here, though, for RX. He does do pretty well against that Bristleback. Of course, he does do a plethora of pure damage. And, well, Bristleback's tankiness, when he turns his back, those, what's it called? The ability called Bristleback, well, a little bit negated when you have that pure damage coming out. So Timbersaw is a hero that fares pretty nicely against Bristleback. I like that pick here from RX in a way to try and deal with the Bristleback. We'll see what RX want to do with their third pick, though. Still a very open-ended draft. A lot of options as well. Curious about who they're going to grab for a second support, as they have made such a note here to ban out some of the supports themselves. Really depends on how they want to take this draft. If they want to take more of a late game oriented team, or if they want to hit that mid game. Empire banning out the Lifestealer makes me think that they're going to try and hit that mid game once again, but they're going to take the Doom. Not going to hand it over to Empire. Another good hero. I do feel that I've been underestimating the Doom. When we first started Starladder Season 8, Marlini and myself alike, sort of on that same page of, not a big fan of that hard farming Doom. Yes, he's good, he has some utility, and I think both of us sort of undervaluing him a little bit. And he's just become that more and more prevalent pick. I still don't like him in the 1 position, but we have seen if you leave a Doom to his own devices, just let him free farm away with Devour, let him free farm with that Midas, he gets out of control, just like an Alchemist would. We've also seen sort of an increasing amount of the Alchemist Doom on the same team, where both of them with that built-in Midas function, kind of, the Greevil's Greed and the Devour. If you let them both get a Midas and both farm, they just overtake you. There's no way to keep up with the immense amount of farm they can put onto the field. So here, Doom going to serve as a good pick. Weaver's still on the board, so that will deter Empire from grabbing Weaver if that's something they were interested in. Going to give Relax a little bit of crown control as well with that Doom. But alas, going to be a deny pick above all, I think, here. Not going to let Empire have that great mid-game hero. Doom was a driving role in that last match as well. Perhaps RX were watching, and they're not going to let Empire fish their wish, so to speak, for those of you card players out there. One thing that RX don't have a lot of, though, is lockdown. Doom, I would still label it a crowd control ability, but not lockdown. Absolutely no stuns at the moment. Visage, another one. He's got some slows, a little bit of crowd control, but no true stuns, and that's something their draft is really lacking right here. Empire, though, putting a lot of thought into this next pick. How do they want to handle this? I'm still curious about how they want to lane this as well. This pick should give us some indication of that. And it is going to be a Rubik.
Radiant team pick.
So this is either going to be a mid-Alchemist or some sort of a position 1 style Alchemist. Very well could be a long lane. They could aggressively jungle the Enchantress as well, depending on how frisky they want to get here in the early game. Usually that solo safe lane Bristleback is kind of the sweet spot, but they could put him in the off lane as well. Not my favorite, but still an option if that's really what they want to go for here.
5 seconds remaining.
Now RX going to take their time as well with their 4th pick. Again, they need something with crowd control. I think a Lion would be a really great pick right here. Hex and Earth Spike, 2 great crowd controls. Nice and bursty as well. It's another thing they are lacking right now, that bit of burst damage. And burst is one great way to try and deal with that Bristleback. I mean, Timbersaw can burst him a little bit. Doom does help, but I think a Lion really would be a good choice here. So both sides going to take their time, though, in this draft. Uh-oh. Are there reports of the Dota network down? Hopefully we don't have issues similar to yesterday. I'll tell you what, folks. Day 10 of Starladder was kind of a mess. Oh, the Dota network. We had the delayed El Clasico, just waiting and waiting. Waited for a good hour and a half, really. It was really rough. Hopefully, yeah. For some reason, Starladder just happens right around that time when Valve likes to release their updates. I guess it's that whole Pacific Coast, Europe time zone difference, but Mirana going to be the 4th pick here for RX. And that is going to help out their lack of crowd control a little bit. Of course, Sacred Arrow, Skill Shot. That's really all their initiation right now. We have seen these lineups where Mirana is the primary initiator be successful, but it is a little bit of a gamble. You really need to be spot on with those arrows. And if you can't land the arrows, sort of like the Wind Ranger. A great hero if you can connect with the shackles, but if you can't get him to latch, she very quickly becomes more of a liability than an asset. Though Mirana also going to be another good pick here in terms of that mid-game presence that Team Empire seemed to be slated for in this match. One of the great things about Mirana as kind of a soft carry, she's pretty damn bursty right around that 10-11 mark. Also, Moonlight Shadow does come in handy to deal with the incoming threats. Bane will be banned out, perhaps worried about kind of a 2-1-2. That is that classic combo, Bane-Mirana. Smart ban from Empire here. Magnus going to be the final ban for RX. Magnus really would have been a nice pick here for Team Empire. Still a couple of options, though. Puck's still on the field, and Team Empire got to be considering that as an option. They do have a fair bit of crowd control between the Rubik as well as the Alchemist, but Puck would really add to some of that team fight synergy, especially if Puck can have a good time in the mid lane.
5 seconds remaining.
There are some counters to Puck still in the pool here, but I think Puck could be really a good pick for either side. Really would work well for RX also. No, going to be the Pugna. Wow. So, all right, Team Empire very serious about this mid-game aggression. Night Stalker going to be the pick for RX, so we are going to see another Night Stalker game here. So it is indeed going to be Pugna. Wow. Sorry about that. It's a one-man show, like I said, guys. I get those PMs on Skype. Got to do something. So, yeah, Pugna definitely going to commit them here to this kind of mid-game presence. Pugna, another one of those heroes that he does start to fall off a bit. But, boy, does he have some mid-game burst. It is going to be Resolution on the Pugna. So, going to be solo mid. Silent going to be on the Alchemist. Definitely going to be in that one position. And Mag going to be on the Bristleback. So, going to be an interesting matchup here for us. Going to be very similar to that game we just saw with Empire, though. They're going to have this mid-game timing they're going to have to hit. And if they can hit it and do some crippling damage, I'm going to put a timer on it. I'll be as bold to say as somewhere about the 25, 30-minute mark, they're going to have to knock down some barracks. Maybe a little bit longer if they're still holding on to a huge lead. Kind of depends what Relax do here and how well their early game starts. I like the Night Stalker pick as well. Going to give them some nice bit of mid-game presence here. In terms of carry advantage, though, that's what's interesting. Empire actually going to have a little bit of a carry advantage, I think. Not by much. Alchemist definitely the hardest carry in the game, but up against the Doom and the Mirana. Well, we'll see. Maybe kind of a wash. One hard carry versus two sort of soft carries. Doom's hard to categorize. It really depends on that farm. But here, KSI going to be kind of supporting on him, it looks like. Wards and a Stout Shield, so Doom not going to be carrying too much in this match. So a nice, well-rounded draft from Empire. Again, nice to see this Alchemist play that array of roles. We've seen him solo mid. We saw him support last match. And now we're going to see... Oh, wow, it's actually going to be a swap. My mistake. They are going to change it. They swapped the heroes. And that is going to be Resolution on the Alchemist. And now it is going to be Silent on the Pugna. So, my mistake, folks. I did mislead you a bit. Playing with us here. They swapped them. Going to be a tri-lane Pugna. Still, that mid-Alchemist going to give us a couple of talking points here. Well, let's go ahead and introduce our rosters. On our Radiant side, we have Team Relax. You're doing fine. A.k.a. RX, a.k.a. Team Poseidon. Down to the bottom lane here, we've got Visage. Playing on Visage. That's where he changed his name. I don't know who that is. RX Visage down here, though, in the bottom lane. Nexus going to be on the Mirana. Going to grab himself a double damage rune to start things off here. He's going to be headed down to that bottom lane as well to start farming away. KSI going to be supporting on the Doom, though perhaps just jungling. He did go Devour level 1, did start with some wards. So we'll see where his build ends up. Tame My Wild going to be on the Night Stalker here in the solo mid-roll. And Shotchlow going to be on the Timbersaw up in this top lane. There's going to be some off-lane Timbersaw action. Now on our Dire side, we do have Team Empire. Mag going to be playing the long lane Bristleback. Solo Bristleback down here in the bottom. In the mid, they are going to have Resolution playing on that solo mid Alchemist. And then up in the top here, it is going to be Vanscore in the jungle on the Enchantress. Of course, always want to fly and be supporting on the Rubik, just creep pulling at the moment. And of course, we do have Silent in that #1 position, playing on the Pugna. And for now, kind of in a solo lane against the Timbersaw as his supports are dedicated to the jungle. But Silent should be having a pretty good time up here against the Timbersaw, starting off 5-1 against the 3-0 Timbersaw, so not off to a bad start here. Now, I would have thought that perhaps they were going to do an aggressive tri-lane here, but the pick of the Doom in the jungle does make it a bit more difficult for him here, with Enchantress going to be not well slated to deal with aggressive jungling. Mag taking a lot of pressure, though, and this is going to be a little bit rough for the Bristleback. I mentioned Bristleback 1, that sort of falls off a little bit, does have a momentum-based presence about him. And being in that long lane can be a little bit difficult. He's getting completely zoned out here. He is 0-0. Visage hiding in the trees. Mag could be in a little bit of trouble here. Nexus looking for an opportunity to land an arrow, perhaps. Doom not going to be anywhere nearby. Those quills going to start to add up, though. Going to be out of mana. And Mag, well, he may still be able to survive this. If Nexus can connect with an arrow, this will be a first blood. Oh, well played by Mag. It is going to connect with a creep. Are they going to commit to it, though? One more. That would have done it. 5 hit points. He's going to walk away. So Mag does survive. Maybe a stroke of luck. Still a nice play there to move behind the creep and block that arrow. Vanscore is smoked up here. He's trying to get aggressive about the top lane. Does have himself a Satyr Tormentor and a Centaur. And they are just going to dive this tower already. Satchel, he knows it's coming. There's the decrep. I think it might have been off the mark, actually, with that Nether Blast. Not that extra bit of damage, but still Satchel in big trouble here. Level 3 does have 1-1-1. Will have a Timber Chain to try and hop away. Not going to be enough, though. Down he goes. First Blood comes. And that's going to go the way of Pugna. Exactly what Empire were looking for right there. That's great news for Silent. And now this tower going to be under heavy pressure. A lot of pushing power. With Pugna, there's an old adage. It's not a matter of is he going to push your towers. It's going to be a matter of when. And already this top tier 1 going to be slated to fall, I think. Enchantress popping out of the jungle. Going to make this a pretty easy push. Glyph will be used right away by RX. But I think they're going to be hard-pressed to defend this tower as the Satyr pulls the lane. But we are going to move into a pause at that. A little bit of laggette coming out for RX here. Oh, man. Twitch chat is really going crazy today. You guys are really on point. You guys had your Wheaties this morning. It was a nice sugary breakfast. Wow. Lots of spam. I like it. That's what I like to see in my Twitch chat. So in the mid lane here, it looks like Resolution really off to a great start. 7-0 on the Alchemist against the 10-1 Night Stalker. Again, we mentioned it in the last game. One of the great things about Night Stalker in the mid is he has this pretty low mana cost ability, the Void here, to get those last hits if things aren't really going his way. But Alchemist, just really a strong presence in the mid lane. That Acid Spray is hard for those melee heroes to deal with. Makes last hitting a bit easier for Resolution. And it just makes Night Stalker's life a little bit more difficult. It really works well against range heroes, though, as well. Acid Spray has a pretty large radius. So you can even zone out the ranged heroes as well as melee heroes, but still Resolution off to a great start. In my mind, I think about Night Stalker as kind of a solo mid hero classically, but seeing Loda in that one position yesterday is sort of changing my perspective a little bit. I think getting some of that solo farm, being able to venture about in the second night, more so than feeling pressured to move about in the first night, is a much better style for Night Stalker here following the 6.79 changes. But alas, Tame My Wild is going to have a Haste Rune bottled up that he grabbed at that 2-minute mark. So if some rotation comes his way, perhaps could set something up on Resolution. Also perhaps not. Doom, well, I guess he could set up a gank. He does have a Centaur, so there's a War Stomp there. Scorched Earth could perhaps make something happen. So unfortunate for RX, though, they weren't able to finish off that Bristleback. Would have been such a good victory for them. Not only to shut him down further, but just grab that first blood instead of it happening up at the top. Would have shifted this graph a little bit, but instead Empire are going to hold on to, well, a pretty solid gold lead. Really a solid experience lead to start things off as well. Enchantress, a bit more of an effective jungler there than the old Doombringer. But alas, we are going to resume. Looks like those lag issues may be resolved for Relax. Hopefully they are at least. Again, this glyph has been used already in the top tier 1. I think going to be slated to fall here in the first 3 minutes. Empire are going to be off to a great start to hit that mid-game stride that we saw in the last match. Another Nether Blast going to be used. And that'll be the end of the tower. Silent going to grab it. Saw Shotchlow coming up. Perhaps trying to grab a deny, but going to be thwarted. And that's going to further that gold lead already for Empire. And that is good news for the old Bristleback, because Mag here is still 0-0. One of the reasons the solo safe lane Bristleback is a lot more popular, but drafting the Enchantress just made that impossible for Empire. So, working with what they got, Mag still holding steady. Again, that long lane, often about not conceding deaths more so than grabbing an exuberant amount of farm to start things off. But here we go in the mid lane. Resolution trying to get aggressive, is going to throw the concoction. Tame My Wild will use that haste rune, and he's going to be able to survive. Without that haste, may have been a little bit more hard-pressed in that situation, but still a noble effort from Resolution. Silent just holding his own down here, or up here in the top lane, I guess I should say. 18-4 against the 9-1 Timbersaw. Shotchlow effectively getting boxed out here. Although he is going to get a little bit of a luxurious lane positioning here as that tower has fallen. Still, Pugna with just such great lane presence. Down in the bottom, Mag going to get engaged on once again. Look at this positioning here. Trying to stay on the opposite side of the creep so that he can't get arrowed easily. But Visage going to be able to do a good bit of damage to him. He's going to be forced back. Probably going to have to use that solve. Mag's still doing a pretty good job, though. He's holding his own, trying to move forward and grab last hits wherever possible. Still doing a good job. Looks like there's going to be some aggression coming the midway. Vanscore and Always Want to Fly are smoked up. They've got a Hellbear Smasher, a.k.a. a Ursa, and they do want to shut down Tame My Wild on this Night Stalker. It is nighttime, though. This gank going to be a little bit more difficult for him, but they very well may be able to do it. There's the concoction. Telekinesis to start things off. That'll be an easy kill. Down he goes. Nicely done by Empire. Now Resolution going to have a huge advantage here in the mid lane. Going to have a level advantage and going to be able to continue farming away while he's in the grave. A much needed kill. Night Stalker, one of the scariest mid-game presences of the RX lineup here. Really a much needed kill. Yeah, Mag continuing to hold his own. Visage doing a pretty good job here, continuing to try and box him out to open up space for Mirana. And Mirana is farming pretty well here, 25 and 10. Not too bad compared to her counterpart, which is the Pugna, who is 27 and 8. But that early tower really does make a difference. That's an extra half item for the most part. For those early game tier 1 choices, we see Alchemist already has his phase boots. KSI going to move into the mid lane to hold it here for Night Stalker. As Tame My Wild is going to rotate to the top lane. It is nighttime. I guess he feels, well, feels like he should try to make the best of it. But this is what I was talking about, that mid-Night Stalker, especially if you get ganked right at the beginning of the second night. It's just so difficult. You feel like you need to move around to pick up some kills, grab some momentum, but you just can't. It's not that same presence of the previous night cycle. He's only level 5 and so much room for Alchemist here. Resolution is just farming away, and we'll see his farm just to start to skyrocket here. Void going to come out on Always Want to Fly. The follow-up won't be there, though. Shotchlo, not quite level 6, doesn't have the Chakram. Big wasted effort there from Tame My Wild. There's a lot of potential farming time just completely lost in a failed gank, and that costs you so much as a mid-hero. Look at the difference in farm now. Alchemist effectively doubling the last hits. Definitely bad news bears. Term that I like quite a bit here. Yeah, Alchemist basically doubling now on net worth. Acid Spray comes down, as does the Chemical Rage, and Resolution perhaps looking for an opportunity. Don't know that he can kill Tame My Wild here solo at nighttime, but can at the very least harass him back. Does have plenty of mana, does have that, that bottle as well. Compliments of the Courier. Interesting stuff on the Doom here. Not the position that I really like to see Doom in. He's just sort of moving aimlessly about the jungle. His farm really not so significant. And one of the problems with Doom as this kind of roaming support in the jungle is he takes a little while to come online. He really needs that ultimate before he can effectively gank. I guess if he sucks up a couple of good creeps, it does give him a little bit of ganking potential, but so far KSI really yet to do anything too significant. If they had another aggressive support here, if that was a Venomancer, a Crystal Maiden, someone like that, they very well could have finished off this Bristleback a couple of times, I think, but unfortunately with the Doom, it's kind of just a 2-on-1 down here. And they've been able to zone him out and stop him from farming, but still haven't been able to kill that Bristleback and really let that Mirana just take over this bottom lane. We see Pugna now really overtaking the net worth chart as Silent is starting to pick up some momentum here. Looks like he is going to grab the early Mac, a great item choice, and does have that early Basilius for some additional pushing prowess here. Let's take a look at items. Any Hands of Midas coming out here in this match? And it doesn't look like it. Not a great Midas game. Empire, I mean, they could grab one if they could get it really early. I mean, maybe that Alchemist could have grabbed one if he grabbed it super, super fast. But in the mid lane, a little bit less of a prevalent item pickup. Not surprised to see Empire with no Midas here, as they do want to hit that mid-game stride. And same for Relax. If you grab a couple of Midas, that really thwarts your ability to try and deal with that Pugna pushing power. And look at that. Telekinesis up to the high ground. Shotchlo going to be able to Timber Chain down, but still going to delay him a little bit. Yeah, fairly crafty from Always Want to Fly. Just going to play with his Psyche a bit. Double damage on Shotchlo, but he's going to get converged on here. We see Alchemist at low ground. He is going to stun himself. That's a bit unfortunate. But no man's land here for Shotchlo. And he is going to port out. Mag holding his own down here, though. He is 9-0. Does have some of those core items. Again, in this long lane for Bristleback. As long as he doesn't die, we can pretty much label it a victory. Moronic getting some good bit of farm. And does have an item coming. Is that going to be a Midas? Yes, it is. So Mirana does have her Midas now. About a 9-minute Midas. Not too bad. Not too great either. Did grab an early Basilius, perhaps, so they could pressure this tower, but never going to find the opportunity. So not a bad choice here from Mirana, but I think that could hold them back a bit as Empire grab that mid-game momentum that I keep talking about. So we do see a nice aggressive smoke again from Always Want to Fly and Vanscore. They're going to rotate around the mid lane. They want to pick on this Night Stalker, and I think it's a smart choice here. Tame My Wild, going to be hiding in the trees. He does have an urn sitting in the bank. So right now, not many items in the inventory. As soon as he shows himself, this smoke going to become a reality. Though I think he is suspicious. Uh-oh, someone coming around the backside. Timbersaw is going to reveal it. Shotchlo, I think they were suspicious of it. But now Shotchlo could be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get telekinesed. Centaur stun. They're just going to back up. Support on the way. And they are going to make it back. So, hard to tell if that was intentional or luck. But alas, Shotchlo going to be the revealer of smokes there. I'm probably going to keep Tame My Wild alive. Now Empire, though, they want to start knocking down some of these towers, and uh-oh. Silent going to walk right into the Timbersaw. He does, well, use the mech right away. Going to try and turn it around. Shotshell going to take a lot of damage here. Empire, Silent, he is going to fall. Going to try and port out, not going to be able to make it. He does pull the attention of the relaxed forces and opens up a little bit of room for Empire to continue this push. The glyph does get used, but I think this tower is still going to fall. They may try and line up for the deny. It's going to come in. Not going to happen. Empire are going to grab it. So that's going to make it 2-1 here at the 10-minute mark, but Empire have a 2-0 hero, or tower count lead. About a 4,000 gold lead. Small experience lead, but stun coming out on Alchemist. Yep, he's going to get stunned. Uh-oh. That's going to be a big misplay. They're going to converge. Down he goes. Wow, Resolution just getting a bit too aggressive right there. Not what he was looking for sure. It's going to level it up 2-2 here. Not the biggest of misplays for Empire. I guess he thought someone was going to be nearby, but well played by RX to move into the fog, not give him anywhere to throw that concoction, and they grab a free kill out of it. So a nice little pick-me-up there. We'll put a dent into that gold graph that Empire have been amassing, and we'll actually give Relax the experience lead here. So most of that gold is coming from those early tower kills. Enchantress is going to grab herself a Midas here. And an urn picked up by Rubik as well. Both Van Score and Always Want to Fly, only level 5. All the support's level 5 right now, actually. Both sides. So pretty even on that front. KSI, the big one, though. Actually, the level 6 is going to be a little bit bigger for RX, I think. The Doom as well as Visage Familiar is both very powerful ultis. Impetus and Spellsteal, both very... Or Impetus. Yeah, Impetus, that's right. I used to say Impetuous. But that's not right, it's Impetus. Bottom tier 1 going to fall. That's going to be a 3-0 hero count here. And that will be the Midas in the inventory of the Enchantress. Uh-oh, some ports coming up top. Timbersaw, he's going to port out right away. As soon as he sees the port, Shotshell recognizing he's in the danger zone is going to make it out. And RX going to group up a bit and try and pressure this mid tier 1 tower. As soon as defense comes its way, though, they're not going to commit to it. That is one problem for this RX lineup right now. They don't have a lot of pushing power. Visage Birds help a bit, but no great classic pushers here. No Furion, nothing like that. And Empire are going to take that nice tower lead and be pretty happy with about 4,000 gold lead here. And they're going to hang on. Empire will stay aggressive, though, just like in the last match. This mech difference will definitely come in handy, though Doom is going to go for the mech right away. RX not going to make the same blunder that OSG did. They are going to prioritize that mech a bit more. And Doom going to have those first 2 core pieces. Just waiting for that recipe. Still going to be 600-700 gold off or so. But alas, they are going to grab it in a pretty timely manner. So that window of opportunity for Empire to really capitalize on that mech difference going to be a little bit thwarted here. And Timbersaw not off to a bad start. He did have kind of a slow start in terms of last hits, but he's made a pretty solid recovery. Does have the Arcane Boots and a point booster already, so he does have those first couple core items. But how's our buddy Bristleback doing? Talk about a slow start. Mag really zoned out of that bottom lane. He's been able to grab a bit of recovery. Now has the Power Treads, Vitality Booster. Probably going to be going for a pretty early Vanguard pickup here. Again, that does work just so nicely with this mid-game presence that Empire are undoubtedly going to go for. Van Score going to bump right into Tame My Wild. In comes the Decrepify. Nether Blast going to be off the mark. And he's going to walk away. Though he is going to double back and could wander his way into the 5-man lineup of Empire. No, Empire just going to go for an early Roshan here at the 13-minute mark. Let's take a look at the vision. They've got this completely warded up. Great set of wards here for Empire if they want to do some kind of an early Rosh strat like this. Radiant side, of course, they know what's going on. They don't need wards. Tame My Wild's going to be their mobile ward here. Moonlight Shadow comes. That will keep Tame My Wild alive. Rosh down to about half health here, and Relax absolutely want to contest this. Chakram going to fly in, and Empire's effort's going to be thwarted here. Moonlight Shadow will expire in just a moment. And I think Empire do have the team fight advantage here. Oh, Arrow going to connect with Always Want to Fly. He's going to be in big trouble. Visage Familiar is going to come in. That'll be the end of Rubik. And now what are Empire going to do here? Alchemist is going to be able to finish off the Night Stalker. We did miss that on the camera. My apologies. What was Night Stalker doing up there? Holy shit. Did miss that one. I thought he was with the team. Was totally tunnel visioning around the Roche Pit. My apologies, folks. But Empire will gladly trade a Rubik for the Night Stalker. And they're going to move back into the Roche Pit here. I think Relax is going to be a little hard-pressed to deal with this. They don't have the Moonlight Shadow, don't have their big mid-hero. Arrow is going to come in, actually going to connect with Roche. That's going to do Empire a favor. Nice jukes to the sides right as it came in. Stun going to get charged up, going to connect with Shotshlow. And he's going to fall as the Nether Blast comes. Doom going to use the ulti onto Silent, but the follow-up not going to be there. Silent going to be able to survive, no problem. Doom going to pay for it with his life. Down he goes. And the rest of this fight just not going to go the way of Relax. Roche still with a reasonable amount of hit points, down to about a third HP or so. And the Night Stalker's back, but still going to be a 5v3 on the field. And although Relax have put forth a solid effort here to contest this Roshan, Empire are going to come out the victors. They're going to grab it. And Aegis going to end up in the inventory of Bristleback. They're going to hand it over to the old Bristleback here. He's going to grab his Vanguard as well. Arrow going to fly. Oh, almost going to connect with Mag. But slightly off the mark. Empire continuing to hold on to that momentum they picked up. Upwards of about a 4,000 gold lead. Still trailing in experience, but not by much. That Roshan working wonders on that front. Down to the bottom here, Tame My Wild and Resolution going to go toe-to-toe. Neither going to overcommit. And just go back to farming. Only 5-3 though here at the 15-minute mark. We've got a pretty quiet game on our hands. Of course, as I say that, we miss Pugna getting killed. I'm really just tunnel visioning hard today. I don't know what my deal is. Struggling, perhaps. That's solo casting. What are you going to do? Yeah, 13 minutes is pretty early. But, alright, Resolution now going to get engaged on. Tame My Wild going to come in. He's got some nighttime, but Resolution going to use the ultimate counter to the Night Stalker. That is, of course, the TP scroll. So Alchemist, kind of an interesting build here. Did grab himself a Vitality booster. Now just going to grab the Ogre Club. So he is going to try and up that HP buffer a little bit. Make Chemical Rage a little bit more useful, perhaps. But, oh, always want to fly. He's going to steal that Sacred Arrow. They may try and turn it against him. Arrow's going to fly. Whoa. Almost a close call there with Tame My Wild. Look at that net worth chart. Mirana's farm continuing to impress. Of course, she does have a hand of Midas, so shouldn't be too surprised that she is staying on point with the Alchemist as well as the Pugna. Did have a pretty solid early game as well. Going to go ahead and just grab that Yasha. So Mirana's right clicks do hit a little harder, a little faster, but she is still a very squishy force. Let's have the power tread set to int at the moment, so we'll have a little bit of a bigger HP buffer, but still a very, very squishy presence compared to someone like this Resolution, who is just going tanky for this early game. Two very casual items here, probably going to turn it into a BKB, and presumably a heart eventually, but hard to say what that Vitality booster is going to turn into. Empire, though, they are going to group up, all 5 in the mid lane, and they are going to try and pressure this Tier 2. RX looking like they want to exchange some towers, but they're going to be hard-pressed to do that. This Tier 2 going to fall before they even start heavily pressuring that Tier 1 in the top lane. Going to burn the Glyph. That will buy them a little bit of time. And nope. Alright, a little bit off the mark there. They're going to be able to clear out that top Tier 1 before the Tier 2 falls, but still. Tier 1 for a Tier 2, not a bad exchange for Relax, but still going to be pretty solid for Empire. We will see Timbersaw get taken out in the mid lane here, as he does get connected upon by an unstable concoction. Arrow does hit Resolution, but right away that mech going to pick him back up. That mech still not complete on Doom. Looks like he just now grabbed it. Courier going to bring it over. Yep, there it is, but still. Pretty late mech. And Empire going to get what they came for. Tier 2 for Tier 1, and they grab a kill out of it. Obviously going to be the victors there. Kill on Timbersaw, not too shabby. They need to keep this momentum up, but again, Alchemist is still going to be one of the hardest carries in this game, and a small carry advantage may eventually go the way of Relax if this Doom really starts to farm hard, but still, he's going that much more support-oriented Doom. Mech probably just going to move into a Vlad's, maybe something like an AC, the Aura Doom build. Very solid, but not going to be that hard carry. So if we're talking about a Mirana versus an Alchemist, Alchemist certainly going to be able to overtake him. So Empire don't have quite as much pressure as they have in certainly had in that last game to hit this mid-game stride, but still do want to keep that pressure on, while Bristleback and Pugna are a scary force. They are going to deny that mid-tier 1 tower. That'll be the first tower to fall on the side of Empire, but it will be denied, so Relax not going to catch any breaks on that front. Arrow is going to come out, almost going to connect to the Timbersaw, but a creep going to get in the way. Empire continuing to stay aggressive, though. There's still this 5-man unit as they start to move about. We can glance at items here, see if any other crazy items have been picked up. Yeah, Vitality, or a support, point booster. Inventory of the Pugna. Enchantress going to be working towards that Ag Scepter. And Alchemist going to grab himself a Sanj and Yasha. Very mid-game oriented item right there. But Doom going to find himself in a bit of a sticky wicket here. Alchemist did pick up a kill in the meantime while we're looking at Doom. Of course, we missed it. But yeah, Doom definitely going to be destined to fall right here. Trying to do some fancy footwork about the trees. He's going to pop the mech to buy himself a little bit of time. The telekinesis, and yeah, that's going to be a dead Doom. So Marana, though, got picked off by the Alchemist, trying to pressure that top tier 2 tower. That'll be a 2-for-0 exchange across the map for Empire, so now they're going to be very comfortable pushing this bottom tier 1. Bottom tier 2. Getting all stumbly all of a sudden. Perhaps it's time for another cup of coffee. Resolution just going to hold it steady up there in the top lane. We'll take some of the other team's attention while Empire continue to push. Tame My Wild is going to port down. He's going to serve as the lone defender right now. Ulti is on, so it is nighttime, but need to be a little careful here. Tower falls, and Empire could still take an advantageous fight. Moonlight Shadow comes out. And that last port going to get canceled. Was a long one. Resolution. Moonlight Shadow actually stolen by the Rubik. So now Empire going to have that advantage. Yeah, again, Team Relax, they were Team Poseidon originally, and then they had that new roster. They are now going by Team RX. In case you're confused as to who they are Team Poseidon. Though they do have a very different roster. Drum of Endurance now picked up by the Bristleback. Always good to have one of those on your team. But more importantly, Pugna going to grab himself the Agnim Scepter. Agnim Scepter, depending on your accent. I still like the Ogs. I like the pretentious sound of it, but yeah, I know a lot of you out there don't enjoy it. Still a big item pickup for the Pugna. Gonna make that life drain a little bit more powerful. Kind of a core item on the Pugna as well. We see a lot of people grab it. Though, Resolution. I really thought that was going to be a BKB, but alas, the Sanj and Yasha. I think most of you should know how I feel about it. We talk about it almost every cast. Not one of my favorite items, but it is good for a strategy like this for Empire. Great mid-game item. Going to give you that little bit of an HP buffer, which is good for Alchemist. But, ooh, Visage. He is going to port out, but in the danger zone. See, Night Stalker kind of in no man's land right here. We just have a haste rune. As Merlini points out, sometimes invulnerable syndrome when you grab that haste, feeling like no one can kill you. Natural Knight going to come about here and actually Relax going to start to pressure this bottom tier 1. Silent is going to port down to be the lone defender. He needs to be careful though. Doom does have an ulti available. Arrow going to fly. If they doom him, I think he will be slated to fall. Another blast coming out, buying this tower a little bit of time. Pugna looking for the deny, not going to find it. All the while, majority of the forces of Empire are pressuring the top tier 2. Always Want to Fly does come back down to the tier 2 down in the bottom lane here. And Tame My Wild is going to pop that haste rune. He's going to press forward. Resolution is going to get himself stunned once again. Uh-oh, and the follow-up's going to be there. There's the arrow. Second time in this game, Resolution going to stun himself, and it does result in a kill for RX. Very nicely done. For RX, that is. Remaining forces do port out. Not what Empire was looking for. They don't defend the bottom tier 1. They don't grab the top tier 2. And of course, they do lose their Alchemist. Great news for Relax. They do grab a little bit of this momentum back, though. Still the way of Empire at the moment. Nice pick-me-up from Marana, though. Her farm still continuing to impress. Staying on point with the leading farmers of Team Empire. Which is an impressive feat, given the tower difference here. It is 3-5 in favor of Empire in terms of total tower count. Those aren't the tabs I was looking for. That's the one I wanted. Marana now going to go the all-out damage build. Is going to grab a Maelstrom. Great anti-push item. Of course, those chain lightning bounces do hop to the creeps. And heroes alike, so great for a bit of a little counter-pushing. And a great DPS item as well. One of the issues, though, gives you nothing in stats. This Marana is still very, very squishy. Still sub 1,000 hit points without the treads on strength. And that is one thing I worry about. Empire will have that ability to kind of burst her down. Such as she gets decrepified, that magic damage coming out is going to be scary. But Resolution now going to have a Hyperstone, so probably going to be moving towards an Assault Cuirass. Always a great item on Alchemist, in my humble opinion, but good for this mid-game strategy, as well as great for pushing. That minus armor on structures certainly does help quite a bit. And Rubik going to be grabbing himself a Force Staff here as well. Solid support utility item, but alas, Bloodstone has been completed on the Timbersaw. We mentioned his farm is actually not too shabby. He did make a nice recovery. The big difference, though, in those in this net worth graph is indeed that Alchemist, though. Pugna and Marana were both playing that one position there on point with one another. It's the Alchemist and Night Stalker that were even to start off the game, and Resolution just really, he's a half an item ahead of the Night Stalker, about 3,000 gold. He's in good shape. And Roche going to be popping up here in just another minute. So Empire looks like they do want to try and commit to this last remaining outer tower. then depending on how Relax react to it here, may just opt to move into the Roche pit. Or may just move forward to pressure some tier 3s. They do take out the tier 2.
Top tower has fallen.
Relax positioning about this tier 2 in the mid lane, like they want to counter push it. And also Tamai Wild in the top, pressuring that tier 2. But Empire not going to overcommit. They're just going to back out pretty much straight away. And again, I think a Roshan rotation going to come in here. And he's going to be up in about 30 seconds. As we saw at the last Roshan, both teams, whoever moves into the pit, the other will most likely contest. That is going to be the plate mail by Alchemist as well. One step closer to finishing off that Assault Kuros. Down in the bottom, Nexus. Almost in a sticky position, but is going to be able to blink backwards. Down to below half health. That's that combo right there, the Decrepify Nether Blast. We did miss it on camera, but the leap into the bushes to port out. The smart play, but still showing the power of the Pugna against the squishy Mirana. Still a pretty low hero kill count game. Only about 13 kills here in 25 minutes. Very, very slow. 1 kill every 2 minutes. Look at that map. So here we go. Roshan going to be under heavy assault here. Empire going to move straight into it. Acid Spray going to come down, and they're going to just chip away at Roshan. Radiant side, they're suspicious. They see the familiars fly over. So they get visual confirmation. They are going to be able to contest it in time here. Arrow going to fly in. Will connect with Silent. Uh-oh, this could be bad for Empire. Moonlight Shadow comes. Pugna going to be the first to fall. Moonlight Shadow gets stolen again. Well played by the Rubik. That is going to buy Empire a little bit of breathing room here. And even though it is a 5v4, Relax will be the ones to back out. They're going to hand over a free Roshan. They could have contested a lot harder than that. I think they thought they scared away Empire, but alas, they didn't. Aegis going to be grabbed by Resolution. That'll be the end of the Bristleback. Dire Courier going to fall in the mix as well. Oh, there's the Doom on Vanscore. This is bad for Empire. Pugna does buy back. And he's going to try and get into the mix here. Does throw down the Nether Ward. It's going to fall. Now Bristleback and Enchantress both dead. Burst coming out onto the Rubik. Oh no, Silent. Is this going to be a dieback? No, not quite. Aegis of the Immortal still in the inventory of Resolution. And that'll be the end of Silent. It is going to be a dieback indeed. All of a sudden, RX picking up this momentum. They're going to continue to pursue Resolution in big trouble. That's the Aegis. Wow, talk about a disaster from Empire. They almost got away with it too. But these meddling kids on the side of RX, they do make it happen. A nice unstable concoction, unfortunately too little too late. And that's going to be a clean sweep, a 5-0. And RX going to be forced to port the hell out of there. They dove into the tier 3s. They've yet to even clear a tier 2. So unfortunately for them, they could have cleared out Rax perhaps. But they're going to be forced to back up. Still a huge momentum swing. Look at this gold graph. That gold lead, well, starting to move in favor of our Radiant side and experience graph. Whoa, Big Daddy. That's going to be a 7,500 gold lead. Very nicely played. Wow, I was nervous there for a second. It looked like they might not be able to contest the Roshan. I thought they could have just committed to the pit after picking off the Pugna to start things off. But two very nice arrows from Nexus. First connecting with the Pugna, then connecting with the Bristleback. Did set up the entrance they needed for that to be a successful team fight. Unfortunate that they couldn't snatch the Aegis or grab the last hit on Roshan, but still very well played by RX right there. Empire not out of it though, still very much in this game. They do have a gold lead. Looking at that net worth chart though, Mirana now going to take over. Really hurting the Pugna though. To die, buy back, and then die again. A buyback as we call it. Really hurting that net worth of Pugna. I mean, he tanked like 3K right there. Not the best buyback from Silent. Felt like he needed to in the moment. But would have been better if he just stayed dead. Very unfortunate. Do you like these item choices from Bristleback, though? Does grab himself a Vlad's Offering. Again, as I mentioned that last game, a little bit of an underrated item. Does work well for these more mid-game oriented teams. The non-Midas teams, if you will. And Enchantress is now getting close to that Ag Scepter. Actually has it. Just needs use of that Courier to get it delivered. So that is good news for Empire as well. Vanscore now finally going to start coming online. Impetus does hurt a bit more once you get that Scepter. See someone in chat side, this match is so boring. It is a little bit of a boring one. I do have to agree with you. I do have to agree with you there, my friend. Not a lot of kills coming out. Both sides just being very passive. And oh, Doom going to disconnect. That will be a pause, no doubt. I'm going to take this opportunity to poke my co-caster. So Hippie is going to be joining me for games 3, 4, and 5. Today we do have 5 matches here for Starladder Season 8, Day 11. But I am Zyori solo casting for now. Thank you for joining us here on Starladder. Coverage by Beyond the Summit, your premier English coverage here. Again, Merlini out today. He will be back tomorrow. But again, thank you for joining us. We do certainly appreciate it. Sorry about that. Do apologize for the typing. Oh, I misspoke. All right, he's going to be joining me for games 4 and 5. Going to have one more solo here. All right, so now that we've resumed, let's take a look here. What is the state of this game? Short pause, but still. Experience graph in favor of RX, and gold graph still a bit in favor of Empire. Again, most of that is just tower gold. 6-3 in total tower count. All the outer towers for Relax have been killed. And here at that 30-minute mark, this is where things start to get a little bit more difficult. Empire do have a very push-intensive roster. Knocking down the outer towers is the easy part. Moving into the base and hitting at those tier 3s is where things definitely start to get a bit more difficult. Though, Assault Kuras now picked up on Resolution. That Scepter now picked up on the Enchantress, as we noted right there. And I think that's it for item pickups following that last engage. Empire, all 5 in the mid lane, trying to make something happen. They are going to do a 5-man smoke here, so they are going to try and do something sneaky. Let's see where they end up going. There are some intruders in their jungle. KSI in the dire jungle right now, and we see Nexus just farming away. Looks like they do have some pings down here at the bottom. Perhaps looking to cut someone off, just moving about the Radiant jungle, just looking for their opportunity to catch someone down so they can take a nice 5v4 engage. Buybacks may become a reality here. And they're going to poke forward. They're going to catch Visage, perhaps. There's the concoction getting charged up. Visage will be the target in their sights. Moonlight Shadow does come. Sentry Ward, they're ready for it. And Visage gets dropped. Sachlo going to take a bit of damage here as well, but it will be a 5v4. Visage does have a buyback available. 2.4k gold in the bank. So Empire now going to have to grab the creep wave if they want to push. So it looks like that is what they're going to do. They're going to head back. And they may continue to push here. They could still obviously take a team fight. But no, they're just going to pour it out and start defending as Tame My Wild looking to get a bit more aggressive here. We do see a gem picked up as well. Tame My Wild, he's in hot pursuit. He wants the Rubik. Courier going to be nearby. Vanscore going to come over with the Nature's Attendants. And oh, another pause. Bad time to pause. So Nature's Attendant's just about to expire here. Not going to do much in helping to keep Always Want to Fly alive. I think this is going to be a dead Rubik here, folks. Going to have nighttime for plenty longer. There is a BKB on the Night Stalker as well. Not sure if we mentioned that pickup. And also now an S&Y on the Mirana to go with that Maelstrom. So she is going to up that HP pool a little bit to grab the Sange to go with her Yasha. It's still 2 S and Ys in one game. Very strange. Not something we've seen a lot of. A lot of pauses in this game too. It's always hard when you have kind of a slow momentum game and then you have a lot of pauses. You just lose that cadence, you know? You lose that momentum. You lose some of the hype. It just slowly starts to dissipate. That's what someone said to me yesterday. You know, we casted one game, then we had an hour break because 4FC disbanded, and then we had Alliance versus Na'Vi, and it's like, man, that kind of sucks. You have all that momentum in game 1, and then you lose all that adrenaline, and then you got to bring it back up, which is very, very true. And pauses do that same kind of a thing. Majno, 5 minutes. Are we really going to have a 5-minute pause here? See, and this is that time when having a co-caster really helps. Because there's not much to talk about during a pause. We've already kind of gone over everything. With all these slow games, sort of covered pretty much everything. If we have a 5-minute pause, not sure what we're going to do here. Wish I could understand what they're saying as well. Looks like there is some sort of a connection issue, though. From what I'm able to gather here, it looks like net. Something internet. Monjo, 5 minutes. 5-minute Monjo. Uh-oh. A 5-minute Monjo doesn't sound... Maj, doesn't sound good. Pustapit, go Dota. Looks like Empire don't want to have a 5-minute pause here. Alright, folks, well, we are going to have a pause. And it looks like it will be a decent duration, at least. Again, these are our matches coming up today. Next match is going to be Relax versus the Retry. And in the last 2 matches, we will have Navi off versus Aspera and the Retry. Again, I'm Zayori solo casting the first 3 matches today. And Hippie is going to be joining me for the 2 Navi matches starting at about 20 CET. Maybe a bit later, given that we are a bit delayed here. So, sit tight. I'm going to take a small breather, take this moment just to relax, soak it in. Again, in this match, I feel like we've already theory crafted pretty much what's going on. We've already gone over the items. We know what's happening. There haven't been a lot of kills. So sit tight. As always, we will resume as quickly as possible. Oh, it looks like a little bit more quickly than we thought. Pardon me. Alright, so I thought we were going to resume here, but I guess not. Again, the language barrier makes this difficult. Yeah, no idea. Alright, well, I thought we were going to resume, but apparently not. Sorry, folks. Got you excited. Alright, there we go. Got the go from Empire. Is it time? Alright, here we go. We're going to resume. Now the question is Rubik going to die here? Bad pause. Not sure if it helped him or hurt him. He's just trying to do fancy footwork around the towers. Now Sachlo going to come in. Well, going to end up being a pretty easy kill there. So, upon that resume, Relax going to grab themselves a free kill. Alright, let's get back into it here. So where were we? Glancing at our gold graphs here, our experience graph. Let's figure out what's happening. It's going to be an armlet now picked up by the mighty Knight Stalker. He's stalking the Knights, and now he's got an armlet to do it that much more potently. Again, those pauses do help throw you off a bit. Vision of that Night Stalker going to come about.
Don't run off.
So Empire's still in okay shape here. This is really just an odd game where they have this mid-game oriented roster but still have sort of a carry advantage. Because Relax did go for a similar roster themselves. KSI! Oh, wow, that telekinesis going to come in just in the nick of time. Doom actually going to be used onto the Alchemist. Is this fight going to start to transpire? The mech comes out from KSI, and he is going to fall. That Doom not going to do a hell of a lot. As we see the Chemical Rage just healing him through it. Wow, that's the power of the Chemical Rage before Doom. If you get it off, it's just a wasted ulti. Of course, that was kind of a last-ditch effort, so not too bad, but still. The power of the Chemical Rage there, folks. So, Tame My Wild, going to be headed for the hills. He's going to have the luxury of nighttime, so he's nice and speedy. But now that Empire have that 5v4 advantage about the map, they are going to group up, pressure this bottom lane, perhaps. All the while, RX going to group up about the top lane. We'll start pressuring this top tier 2 tower. Resolution comes in. That's going to be a nice concoction on top of Sachlo. Vanscore ports in. In comes Mag as well. And I think Sachlo in big trouble here. He does have a BKB.
What happened?
And down he goes. He is going to commit suicide. Compliments that Bloodstone. But still, going to be 2 kills across the map here. Although that was, that wasn't a buyback. That was just an instant respawn there. He has enough charges. He's going to come right back. So, Tame My Wild, going to make it nighttime here. Always Want to Fly, going to scoot forward with that Force Staff. Telekinesis going to pull him backwards. Uh-oh, Always Want to Fly. Maybe overcommitting here. Where's the teamwork? Oh, no, Always Want to Fly. He's going to step way too far forward. Not sure what that was about. But that's going to be an easy kill going the way of Nightstalker, and he's just going to port the hell out of there. Wouldn't say nicely played, but really more just poorly played by Always Want to Fly. Wouldn't have been bad if the team follow-up was there, if they had the crowd control to maybe pick him off before that BKB came out. Could have been scary, but alas, just going to be a free kill going his way. BKB on the way for Bristleback now as well. Also a BKB on the way for that Alchemist. It really is just a casual vitality booster that he grabbed for that kind of mid-game. I still think it'll turn into a heart eventually, but BKB first, definitely the smart choice. Again, I thought BKB was going to be his first choice with that initial Ogre Club, but did turn into a Sanjin Yasha. RX starting to get a bit aggressive here, though. This lead from Empire just kind of completely plateaued right around that 2,500 gold mark. And Empire very far behind in terms of experience. I think RX are slowly starting to grab this game as it's slipping away from Empire. Still a 3-tower difference, 6-3. Empire have been doing a very good job defending their towers, but again, they've been struggling to push into that tier 3. And that's where things do start to get difficult. Both sides just being so passive about pushing here. Because honestly, neither side has a great pushing roster. I mean, yeah, Empire do have a good advantage. Pugna is a great pushing hero, but at this point, his pushing prowess starts to fall off a bit because you can't just keep nether blasting the tier 3 towers. You're never in a position to take it out like that. The tier 1s and tier 2s, Pugna can just keep rotating that cooldown, push in, push in, push in, and just keep spamming it on the tower. You can't really do that as easily with the tier 3s.
Invisibility.
But third Roche is up, and both sides are going to station about the pit here. And this is going to be where this next team fight is going to transpire, I do believe. Empire really won it, but that was really what caused them to lose a lot of that momentum they had in the early game because of that second Roche. Very poorly initiated. Now Empire, they are going to smoke up here. They may try something crafty, a pocket Roche strat perhaps. Let's look at the Radiant vision here. They got vision of the area, but oh god, sorry about that. But they didn't see the smoke. They walked right by the ward. Very sneaky bit of aggression coming out from Empire here. Look at this. They're going to station on the other side. RX doing the same thing. They smoked up to go the other way. Moonlight Shadow going to be used right away by the Mirana. Concoction going to come out. Who's going to be the first to fall? It is going to be the Rubik. Already this fight going the way of Relax, but they're doomed, taking a lot of damage as well. Now Visage going to be the target in their sights. Visage is going to fall. That's going to make it a 1-for-1. Satchel going to make it up to the high ground. Vanscore goes down. There's the gem as well. They will be able to keep their gem in tow, but still not the fight that Empire were looking for. Now it's just going to be Resolution and Mag headed for the hills. And they may be able to survive a long-range Timber Chain, going to connect. And now Mag going to get slowed down by the Chakram. Arrow going to throw, not going to connect. Mag's still going to be in big trouble here. I think he's going to be slated to fall. And down he goes. Once he gets maimed, that's going to be easy. The gem now going to go the way of the Radiant. And Relax going to be able to trade a 1-for-4, maybe even a 1-for-5 here, depending on how much they want to commit for Resolution. Nope, not going to find it. But wow, a very convincing team fight for RX. Again, it seems that Roche is kind of the bane of the Empire existence here. Second time in this match, Roche has cost them a very, very poor team fight. And now RX should be able to take Roche on pretty handily. Let's take a look at buyback here. Pugna going to be down for another 10, but Bristleback going to be the one that's down for an extended period. No, RX not going to capitalize on that victory. They're just going to take it and go back to farming. I think they absolutely could have finished off Roche right here if they just moved into the pit.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Really kind of a strange game here. Both teams are just so passive. Roshan seems to be the only thing that pulls them out of their cubbies. Take a look at the graph here. That is going to level things out a bit. Gold graph basically leveled out. Experience graph now upwards of 14,000. And Vlad's going to be picked up by Doom. Needless to say, that makes me pretty happy. Biggest item pickup, though, following that fight is Mirana's Butterfly. Huge item pickup right here, because who's the MKB carrier? They ain't got one. That's the answer to that. Alchemist, I guess, is the one who's eventually going to have to grab it, but he's going much more of a tank-oriented build. A great choice for the Mirana in this match. And even though Alchemist, I would consider the harder carry than Mirana in this particular matchup, Mirana going to be able to hold her own pretty well. Now number 1 on the net worth chart.
Dire's top tower is
As
under
Pugna
attack.
is really starting to fall off. Pretty comparable across the board, though. And this is where having that Doom as a support starts to come into effect as well, because KSI with that Midas, as well as Devour, his farm is definitely starting to overtake the other supports. I mean, look at Rubik down to only 4.6k compared to the 10k of Doom. Even the Enchantress, who does have a Midas herself, and did have a much better early game in terms of farm, has those towers to her advantage. You got to keep in mind, with this gold graph now in favor of Relax, they're still at a tower deficit of 3. Absolutely huge. Tame My Wild, though, he's going to be in a bit of trouble down here in the bottom lane. He is going to get picked off solo. And down he goes. He will fall, but it might not come for free. Trying to finish off this tier 1 in the mid lane. Glyph is going to be used. I meant to say tier 2, pardon me. That tower is going to fall, but it is going to get denied. Second tower deny from Empire so far in this match. They've done a great job managing those tower denies, that's for sure. Night Stalker does buyback as well, recognizing that Roche could be a reality. Oh no, Resolution going to get doomed, and then he's going to get stunned. In come the Familiars. There is an Ags on the Visage. So he is going to be able to get a couple of stuns there. Does have the 3 birds. Resolution taking a lot of damage. If RX can take him out, they could be able to take Roche right here. He is going to get an instant buyback. Still a 5v5 on the field, but now Always Wanna Fly going to be the one that's pursued. Moonlight Shadow comes, down he goes. Now RX, they have some executive decisions to make here. Where do they want to go? Is it the Roshan pit? Is it these remaining tier 2 towers? And it is going to be Roshan. They're going to move straight into the pit, but it's not going to be easy. Not going to come for free either. Alchemist going to charge up the concoction. Mirana will leap away for good measure. I don't think RX need to be too passive here. It is a 5v4. They can absolutely take a team fight, no problem. But they're going to continue to play it passive. It seems that Relax really don't want to fight unless they have a Moonlight Shadow available. And look at this. We see some come from behind type strategies here. They're going to do a wraparound as they do smoke up. Empire feigning a little bit of pressure here. There is a ward down. They move into the pit, trying to pull Relax out. Both sides just being so cautious. And now that advantage Relax had going to dissipate as Rubik does come back onto the field. Buybacks are definitely going to come into play here. The 2 big ones are on cooldown. The Night Stalker as well as the Alchemist there. But, okay, here's the initiation. And uh-oh, Empire going to be split into 2. They've only got a couple here by the pit, but KSI going to be the one that gets caught. Down he goes. He'll be the first to fall. The rest of the fight going to start to transpire, though. Silent going to be caught in the sights. Mirana going to fall, as will the Visage. Maybe Empire can still do it. The Timber Chain not going to connect. That'll be the end of the Timber Saw. And all of a sudden, Empire with some huge momentum. Instant buybacks from Relax, though. They want to try to get back to the pit as quickly as possible, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. Every single one of their heroes on buyback cooldown here, I think. Except the Timber Saw. He's the only one that didn't need to use it. Compliments that Bloodstone. Roshan getting dangerously low here. Relax may be able to make a stand. Nope, not going to get there in time. Arrow going to fly. Aegis of the Immortal now going to go to the Pugna. Doom going to be used on Pugna as well. Can RX do it here? Empire just need to win this team fight. With all the buybacks down, they might be able to take the game. But no, Enchantress going to be the first to fall. Now RX starting to pursue. Sachlo going to be forced to Timber Chain away. And they're going to reinitiate here. Telekinesis is going to come out on Tame My Wild. Sheepstick going to be used. There's the life drain. Tame My Wild going to be slated to fall. No buyback available. He is going to be down. Now Sachlo, he's going to be stuck in their sights. He does BKB out. Nexus in the high ground here does not have a port. They know he's there. They very well may be able to kill him here. Yep, going to be an easy kill. Unfortunate for Nexus. Now, this is where things start to get really bad. Empire going to take a huge team fight right there. I think they still have the Aegis. Where is it? Yep, in the inventory of the Pugna. They keep it. Now, Mirana's buyback on cooldown, as is Night Stalker's diebacks right there. They're going to be down for another minute and a half, 80 seconds on the Mirana. This is going to be really bad. Relax is going to be hard-pressed to defend this. This is such an odd game. So back and forth. Relax taking that unbelievable team fight against Empire. And then Empire really doing the same thing back right at him. Glyph is going to be available here. Going to come out just about right away. Again, Night Stalker and Mirana going to be down. Nothing they can do about it. It is going to be a 5v3, and this is going to be a crippling amount of damage. They're going to hand over a tier 2 tower as Shachlo does try to push it. But Empire might be able to just go for the win right here. I think they are going to do the safe bet and just rotate to these other lanes and try and clear out at least a couple lanes of racks here. They do finish off mid. Top tier 3 going to be the next target. They do have a defender. It is going to be Vanscorf. He is going to make sure that base stays okay. But Timbersaw is just going to port out. Top tier 3 falls. Top lane of racks also. The mid-range racks actually do stay alive for now. But Night Stalker does come back up. Mirana going to be up in 20 seconds. Still a 5v4 on the field. And Empire are going to back up. Looks like they may be able to take this game. They still have the cheese as well. And with 2 barracks down, Relaxed really going to be hard-pressed to turn this one around. Ridiculous bit of back and forth. All tied up in hero kills, 19 to 20. And all things considered, we do have a pretty even game on our hands. That gold lead for Empire, negligible. Experience scrap, pretty negligible as well. 7,000 at this point. Really doesn't mean a hell of a lot. What's important in these 2 lanes of racks? All Empire have to do at this point is just slow siege their way through that bottom lane, and they should be able to make it happen. Relax. Unfortunately for them, don't have any great Rat Dota heroes. They don't have a Furion. They don't have anybody that can easily backdoor the base while Empire press forward to try and deliver that crippling blow. More big items going to be picked up, though, following that successful team fight. Alchemist is going to finish off that tanky build with a Heart of Tarask. Of course, does have that BKB and some cheese now following Roshan. Pugna, the one who had that sheep stick. We saw in that last fight. Now going to have a shiny new BKB to play with. Again, following the success of that last team fight. Even Bristleback, still a very tanky force. He's got his BKB, now can be working towards a Heart of Tarask of his own. Does have that Reaver, the first big core item. Here we go. Empire now just going to push up. They're going to group up down here in the bottom lane. And Relax are going to move to the top. They're going to have to go through this tier 2 tower in the top. There is a glyph available for Empire. Still no glyph open for Relax. So if they do want to hold this bottom lane, they're going to have to defend spot on here. All the ports do come back. They do use Moonlight Shadow right away. And Empire are going to back out. Looks like they may just bide their time here now that that first big ulti's been used. Night Stalker going to burn his ulti as well. Maybe a bit premature right there. That's what she said. Now 2 of those big ultis are down, and Empire know it. They're just going to have to bide their time. Looks like they may re-engage while Night Stalker's ult is on, but still, it's been burned. The damage has been done. Now Empire going to start chipping away again. They have the luxury of just being able to slow siege this tower. Compliments of the Pugna. This is where Pugna really starts to shine. But here's the initiation. Familiars to start it off. They pop forward. BKB is going to be used. Are they tanky enough, though? Doom going to be used on the Enchantress. Maybe not the best Doom target, as Doom will fall shortly after. They do pop forward. Rubik going to get taken out now. It is a 2-for-1 to start things off. Bristleback very low. He is headed for the hills. Mag looking like he's going to fall. Down he goes. Relax going to be able to hold. Pugna falls as well. Aegis going to bring him back up. And wow, this team fight pretty convincing for Relax. Alchemist is still up, though. Both him and Silent are going to have to head for the hills. Maybe grab themselves a kill on Tame My Wild, Decrepify. Oh, man. Is going to be able to grab him. Very nicely done by Pugna. Probably going to fall anyhow. Does finish off the Night Stalker. Would have been a little bit easier if that Q was on mark, but not quite. Now again, the back and forth continues here as Empire fail their final push to finish off this bottom lane. Next time it's going to be even more difficult. There will be a glyph up in just about a minute. Only did about half damage to that tower. Really a great initiation from Relax. Visage started it off with the familiars. All the follow-up was there. And Empire just crumbling. And as I've said many a time before, this is where Bristleback starts to fall off. 45-minute mark. That tankiness just not there. Pretty easy to cut through. Still just such a back and forth game. Relax still have the disadvantage here. Of course, 2 lanes of racks are very, very difficult to come back from. Generally speaking, once you're down 2 lanes of racks, you don't come back too often, statistically speaking at least. But here, that was a pretty convincing hold. And 4th Roshan may be what this game comes down to. Still going to be a while before he pops back up, at least another 3 minutes or so. But I think Empire are going to need it. They couldn't do it with Cheese and Aegis. Skeptical that they'll be able to do it without both. Although they do still have the Cheese. That could have been the Cheese from... yeah, I guess it was pulled over. Resolution going to be the one to hold on to it, though. So they did not burn the Cheese. I will take a step back. Oh, man. Really is a strange game, though, folks. I did not think it was going to be so back and forth. I thought Empire were going to be able to use their momentum to take this game, but they've had a couple of fatal misplays that are holding them back and giving Relax what they need to get back in this game. Could have been different as well if Doom had doomed a different hero rather than Enchantress. Not the target I'd have chosen. Wasn't enough to secure the kill, but I think locking down one of those other scarier heroes, perhaps. I mean, Enchantress is just an easy target.
Shadows.
So here we go. Smoke going to be used by Empire. They are going to rotate their way down to this bottom rune position and move into the Radiant Jungle. Looks like they do want to try and be sneaky about it, but Relax, they're going to do the same thing here. They've got Moonlight Shadow on, and then they're going to use a Dust to follow it up. So they're going to go to the mid lane. They're going to rotate around the backside. We saw it on the graph. They're going to try and come and do something right around here. We'll see if they can pull it off. Both sides with the same idea right now. Smoke about to try and catch the other team off guard. A sign that we have a pretty even matchup here, but uh-oh, another pause is going to come out. Strap pause. Really an interesting time for this pause to come about. Although the smoke has now expired for Empire. And still going strong for Relax. This could very well be the last team fight if these two bump into one another. Let's take a look at the vision of both sides. Take a look at the F3. Uh-oh, this could be bad. There's a ward right here. Oh no, this is going to be really bad. I can't draw when we're paused. Are you kidding me? What is this shenanigans? So look at this right here. This is the Empire vision, or pardon me, this is the Relax vision right now. And they know exactly what's going on. They've got full vision of Empire at the moment, and they're smoked up. No clue at all. Now let's take a look at the Empire vision. Absolutely no idea. This could be really bad. Relax is going to come around the backside. I'm worried for Empire right now. They better fix those Skype issues. They're going to need it. Lots of pauses here. Alright, here's the unpause. Again, Empire at the big disadvantage here. RX going to go straight in. Arrow going to fly. Is going to connect with Vanscore to start this off. Oh no, this is not good. Empire going to lose their Enchantress to start things off. An instant buyback going to come. Silent in big trouble. He's going to get doomed. He's going to be slated to fall. That'll be a 2-for-0 to start it off. Nexus going to take a lot of damage as Resolution starts tearing into him. But still, it is a 2-for-0. Pugna not going to be able to buy back straight away. And the fight going to start to peter out. Vastly successful for Relax right there. Though it's not over quite yet. Empire still has their scary heroes alive. Pugna does not have the buyback either. So wow, a good engage right there. Unfortunately though, what are Relax going to be able to get out of it? And I don't think a hell of a lot. They're going to make for an easy defense. Maybe a wasted buyback from that Enchantress. Here we go. They're going to engage on Mag. Another long-range arrow going to connect on Vanscore. Oh no. They're not going to go for him here, but still maybe enough to finish him off. He's going to take a silence. Visage is going to fall. Now down goes that Enchantress. Visage will buy back. Still a 5v3 on the field right now. Empire still with their very scary heroes alive. That'll be enough to finish off the Mirana. Another instant buyback. And they're trying to find Doom. They'll find him. Resolution almost going to stun himself, but he's going to get it. Chemical range to chop him down. You chop that wood, Resolution. So now going to be a 3v4 on the field. But again, Empire, they have their most powerful heroes still alive. And with 2 lanes of Rax down, Relax are going to be forced to try and fend off the other lanes where they have lost complete lane control. Doom is going to buy back, and Empire are going to be forced out here, trying to chip away at these towers. Right now, RX is doing such a good job managing their base. But here we go, Sachlo going to come forward. He does have that Shiva, it's going to pop it. Stun from Resolution comes out, but Resolution may be in a little bit of trouble here. Nexus trying to pursue. Sachlo still continuing to hop forward here. Bristleback going to be a more difficult target, but they are going to try it. Moonlight Shadow comes. They're going to try and be a little sneaky. Rubik, almost getting caught, is going to be able to blink forward. They will survive for now. Still a very back and forth game. Again, Relax holds. The problem is here, Relax are starting to take the teamfight momentum, but what can they get out of it? And that's the big issue. The counter push from them just isn't there. Oh, arrow going to fly. Oh, stolen arrow? Nope. Wow. These tier 4s barely hanging in there, but they are nonetheless. Empire again. They just want to finish this game. They had such an edge for so long, but they are going to smoke up and just move into the Roche pit. There is a ward up. This is Radiant Vision we're looking at here. We see Empire being very cautious, but luckily for them, they have the luxury of 2 lanes down, and the lack of lane control from Relax right now means they're going to be able to move into the Roche pit, and this is that point where Roche just melts. Look how fast he falls. 1 cheese on the ground. That's going to be 2 cheese now. Who's going to grab the other one? Yummy, yummy cheese! There it is. Vanscore going to grab it. So now, if Empire cannot break the base with this, I mean, they are like at the point of being effectively 6-slotted. They've got an Aegis. They've got double cheese. They just have to kill 1 more lane of Rax. If they can do it, if they can't. I was going to say, if they can't do it with this, they are going to be hard pressed to do it with anything. Vanscore, though, going to be in some trouble. And Vanscore going to fall. That's going to thwart their pushing efforts to start this off. Well done by Relax. That's going to buy them some time. A Rubik arrow going to fly, not going to connect. And that's going to buy them 60 seconds. I think Empire are going to be a little bit less eager to push without their Enchantress. And this game will continue. This is a pretty epic game in terms of back and forth here at the 52-minute mark. And next match will not be starting without this one, because Relax is in it. So we are going to be a bit delayed here in Starladder. Here we go, though. RX finally going to be able to do a bit of counter pushing. Glyph going to come out straight away. A lot of buybacks still on cooldown. And here we go. Resolution going to get stunned. Compliments of those familiars. And the initiation. Shotchlow in a little bit of trouble. He is 1 tanky force, still going to survive for now. Resolution going to be the target of choice. He eats a cheese. That's going to pick him back up. Going to charge the concoction. Still no one gone down quite yet except that tier 3 in the mid lane. There's the Moonlight Shadow from the Mirana. Doom is going to be the first to fall. Looks like Empire will hold. It's still a 4v4 on the field, though. Enchantress still in the grave. Without that cheese, this fight would have gone so much differently. That's what saved Resolution. They're trying to pursue onto Shotchlow. Don't know that they're going to be able to finish him. Oh, there's a concoction. Oh, that'll interrupt the Timber Chain, and they're going to be able to finish him here. Stolen arrow to finish it off. Well done. All the while in the mid lane, Tame My Wild trying to make something happen, but Enchantress will respond. That'll repel his bit of pressure. Doom going to be on buyback cooldown for another 2.5 minutes here. Empire will have a 60-second window to pressure this bottom lane. Can they do it? Will this be it? I don't know, folks. That was not rhetorical. I'm asking you because I honestly don't know. There have been at least 3 or 4 situations in this match where I thought Empire would be able to take it. They should be able to seal the deal, and they have yet been able to. So I want to say they should be able to do it here. They should still have another cheese, or did they burn both the cheeses there? Aegis still in the inventory of the Pugna. Yeah, they burned both cheeses. I think Vanscore burned his when he first got picked off. So it's just an Aegis that separates Empire from Relax. Doom going to be popping up here basically when they get to the base. 15 seconds, going to take them that long to press up. Going to glance at items. Heart has been completed on the Bristleback. Nothing else too big has been picked up. Mirana did grab an MKB and a Sheepstick on the Timbersaw. But all in all, a lot of the gold's been used on buybacks in the last few moments. We're just going to keep that buyback tab open. A couple of them are close to coming off cooldown here, but still a lot of them stuck on cooldown. Not enough gold available for Relax right now as well. That's one of the biggest problems. But Empire is trying to slow Siege here. They need to be very careful. And they know it. Basher on the Bristleback as well. Interesting. So here's that slow siege start. Glyph is available. Tier 3 tower falls. Just 2 barracks separating Relax from holding their own in this game to getting mega creeped. But here we go. Mag going to be the target choice. Did have his back turn. Great positioning. Sachlo going to go out in the front lines. That'll be a free Shiva's. But KSI going to get turned around on the stolen Sacred Arrow from Rubik. Really coming in handy. And down goes Doom. Doom not going to have a buyback here. And that's going to be the 5v4 that Empire were waiting for. Doom did burn the ulti, but not going to be enough. The mech comes out. Resolution. Maybe in a little bit of a sticky situation here. They will keep him alive for now, but for how long? Not long at all. He's going to fall. Instant buyback coming from the Alchemist. They're going to try and turn this around. Sachlo taking a lot of damage from the life drain. Will be able to break it. Bristleback now going to fall. He's not the one with the Aegis. It's the Pugna. No buyback from the Bristleback. Relax with a lot of red health heroes right now, but still they are holding. I think this is where Empire need to capitalize. They need to go in. Relax are forced to retreat to the well. Creeps are pushing in. They need to go for it. They need to at least force this glyph to be burned. But they're not. They're playing it too cautious. Oh, long range arrow. Gonna connect with Tame My Wild. There it is. Now they're gonna press in. Glyph finally gonna be burned. Still a lot of low health heroes. There it is. Doom planning to get the buyback. Empire playing this so cautiously. Too cautiously, if you ask me. That was their golden opportunity. They've still got the Aegis on silent. They need to put him in the front lines. Let him take some of the burst. There it is. He's going to take it. That's what she said. Nexus going to be in a little bit of trouble here. He is going to be able to leap back and survive. Mech going to come out. It looks like RX might be able to hold this. The creeps, though, they're doing a lot of damage. Let's check on the mid lane. How's it looking? One tier 4 falls. The other going to fall as well. Looks like Empire going to be able just to string them out long enough. Now the throne's going to be exposed. Oh, God. They might not even need the racks. Now RX going to be forced to go back. This is getting intense. Empire going to be able to go back in still. No glyph available for Relax. They already burned it. That's the end of the melee racks. Just one ranged racks away from mega creeps. And I think Empire are going to be able to do it. Sheepstick comes out on resolution. RX really on their back leg here. This is that all-in moment. Burn it. YOLO. This is all you got. The time is now. They're going to finish off resolution. Uh-oh. Now Mag headed for the hills. Silent going to be doomed. He very well may survive. Vanscore going to be in some trouble. He's going to fall. Relax may yet repel.
Is under attack.
The Aegis, or pardon me, not the Aegis, the Ancient, very, very low. As they continue to rack up the kills. Oh my God, Empire not going to be able to finish it here. They're going to get repelled. That's the end of it. Creep's still chipping away at the Ancient though. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Our Creep's going to be the MVPs here. Visage trying to kite him away. He's doing everything he can. The Mega Creeps are just too much, though. Mega Creeps do an absurd amount of damage, man. You can't take it. Creeps very well may win this game for him. Oh, man. It looks like Empire will be able to snake a win here at the 58-minute mark, but I don't know, guys. This has been one back-and-forth game. I don't want to say Empire doesn't deserve it. That would be too far, but wowza. Ridiculous. I feel like Empire have just had so many opportunities to seal the deal here, and they've just continually found this back and forth, just giving Relax the room they need to take some positive engagements. And here it is. Relax just going to go all in. Nothing else they can do. They're going to push out the other lanes. They're going to go all 3 in the mid, or 3 in the mid. It's not quite over yet. Relax do have a small chance here. Now, of course, they do have to worry about Empire just trying to backdoor the Ancient, as it is very, very low. They do not have a glyph available. I believe Empire do have a glyph. Yes, they do. But if Relax take a good engage here, if they catch somebody with their pants down, they may be able to do something. There is still a mild bit of hope. Ambit is coming out, doing a lot of damage to the Visage. Visage very well may fall to start this off. Not what they were looking for. Always want to fly, going to steal Sacred Arrow once again. And Visage going to be forced back. Yeah, that'll be the end of this, I think. And Marana in big trouble. The leap already used. Have a taste of your own medicine, Priestess of the Moon. That's a Sacred Arrow connection. She is going to be Moonlight Shadowed for another, well, good bit of duration. She's going to survive. Mask of Madness as well on the Marana. Wow.
Haste.
I'm still kind of in awe at this game. 60 minutes. Really didn't think this would be a long one. Gold graph, really negligible at this point. Net worth, same story, different chapter. But here we go. Very well could be the last engage of the match. Sachlo going to be the one to start it off. That Impetus doing a lot of damage. But he is going to survive. Will pop the BKB. Now Mag going to go in the front lines. Empire going to use their mech. That'll give him a little bit of breathing room here. Now KSI going to be in trouble. He'll fall. Sachlo looking like he's going to go down as well. Doom doesn't have the buyback. And down goes Night Stalker. They will pick off the Bristleback, but still. Not what they're looking for. Resolution just going to pursue. Visage in big trouble. Decrepify, Nether Blast, down he goes. Oh, long-range concoction. Shotshell going to fall. That's the GG. After only 60 minutes of gameplay, 5 pauses later. Empire do make it happen. Ultra kill from Silent to finish it off. What a game, guys. Holy Toledo. I guess a deserved win for Empire, but very, very back and forth. Empire almost throwing that game several times. A couple of just terrible engagements around the Roshan pit, making things a little bit more difficult for him. But alas, that does it, guys. Thank you for joining us here for this matchup. We've got 3 more games coming at you here for Starladder Season 8, Day 11. I'm going to get Hippie on here joining me. I was going to go 3 solo, but after that one, I need the co-caster, guys. I'm going to take it. Thank you for joining us here. Plenty more Dota coming back your way on Beyond the Summit.